Hello, I'm George, and welcome to IELTS 100. In this lesson on the writing of IELTS, I'm going to teach you how to use phrases correctly in order to help you meet and hopefully exceed the first descriptor under grammatical range and accuracy for the band score of 7 for both Task 1 and Task 2. To achieve the band score of 7, candidates need to use a variety of complex structures. Please note, if you're not using phrases correctly and sufficiently, you may not meet this descriptor for a band score of 7 in the area of grammatical range and accuracy. So, without further ado, let's get started. Structurally, there are 4 ways to make a modifier phrase. First, you can use an infinitive. For example, to reduce the rate of smoking, to generate employment. So basically, to make an infinitive phrase, you need to use the infinitive of a verb and the rest of the phrase. Second, you can use the present participle of the verb and the rest of the phrase. The present participle of a verb is basically the verb ending in ing. For example, reducing the rate of smoking, generating employment. Third, you can also use the past participle of a verb. You can make the past participle of the verb by adding an ed to most verbs. Here are 2 examples. Destroyed in the war. Refurbished by the owner. In some cases, you cannot make the past participle by simply adding an ed to the end of a verb. In other words, the past participle is irregular, and you will need to learn it. See this example. Broken into pieces during the earthquake. In this example, the past participle of the verb break is broken, and you will need to learn it. Finally, you can use a preposition and the rest of the phrase. There are many prepositions in English, and every time you add some words after a preposition, you create a phrase that is called a prepositional phrase. Here are some examples. Upon entry. Despite the surgery. Besides reducing the rate of smoking. Please note that the words upon, despite, and besides are prepositions. Okay, now that I have taught you how to make these modifier phrases, I need to tell you how to use them. The present participle phrase and the infinitive phrase can be used as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. But the past participle phrase and the prepositional phrase can only be used as an adjective or as an adverb. Let's begin with the infinitive phrase. Infinitive as a noun. An infinitive phrase can be used as a noun. The most common places where a noun can be used are the subject and the object positions. See this example. To unlearn past habits is the most difficult step in the process of learning. In this example, to unlearn past habits has been used as the subject of is. Please note that the verb following an infinitive phrase is always singular, because to unlearn past habits is considered as one action. Let's see an example where an infinitive is used as an object. Students may need to unlearn past habits before they can develop new ones. In this example, to unlearn past habits is the object of the verb need. Please note that after some verbs, such as enjoy, you cannot use an infinitive phrase. In order to find out what phrase type you can use after a verb, you need to consult the dictionary. Infinitive as an adjective. You can also use an infinitive phrase after a noun to modify the noun. Here is an example of an infinitive phrase used as an adjective. The government's plan to subsidize green energies is essential in combating climate change. In this example, to subsidize green energies is an infinitive phrase that follows a noun and modifies it. Infinitive phrases can also be used as an adverb. Most commonly, infinitive phrases are used as an adverb to show the purpose of a verb in the sentence. Please note that purpose, as I discussed in the lesson on complex sentences, is an adverb. Take a look at this example. The government has stopped subsidizing fossil fuels to discourage consumers from consuming fossil fuels. As you can see, the purpose of stopping the fossil fuel subsidies is discouraging consumers from consuming fossil fuels. Present participle phrases. The second phrase type, as discussed earlier, is the present participle phrase. Present participle phrases can be used as nouns, adjectives, and adverbs. Present participle phrases as nouns. When present participle phrases are used as nouns, they are more commonly called gerunds. So, a gerund is basically a present participle phrase that is used in the noun position. Here is an example. Unlearning past habits is the most difficult step in the process of learning. In this example, you can see unlearning past habits acts as the subject of the verb is. When a gerund is used in the subject position, it can be easily replaced with an infinitive. Take a look at these sentences. Unlearning past habits is the most difficult step in the process of learning. To unlearn past habits is the most difficult step in the process of learning. Please note that the verb following a gerund is always singular because unlearning past habits is considered as one action. Present participle phrases or gerunds can also be used as objects. See this example. The students who avoid unlearning past habits may not be able to develop new ones easily. In this example, unlearning past habits is the object of the verb avoid. Please note that after some verbs, you cannot use a gerund. In order to find out what phrase type you can use after a verb, you need to consult the dictionary. Apart from using a gerund as the subject or object of a verb, you can also use gerunds after prepositions. See this example. Besides subsidizing green energies, the government is also considering a ban on certain single-use products, such as single-use bags. Besides is a preposition, and that's why I have used a gerund after besides. You can also use present participle phrases as an adjective. In this case, a present participle phrase can be used after a noun to modify the noun. People considering the purchase of an electric vehicle are urging the government to increase the number of charging stations. In this example, considering the purchase of an electric vehicle is a present participle phrase that shows Which people are urging the government to increase the number of charging stations? Finally, present participle phrases can be used as adverbs. A present participle phrase, just like what an adverb does, can also be used to modify the verb in the main clause. When a present participle phrase functions as an adverb, it usually modifies the main clause in terms of reason, results, or time. See this example. Considering the catastrophic impacts of climate change, many nations have begun to decarbonize their economies. In the sentence, considering the catastrophic impacts of climate change functions as an adverb of reason and shows why many nations have begun to decarbonize their economies. Please remember to insert a comma between the present participle phrase that is used as an adverb and the main clause. In the following example, the present participle phrase shows the result of the previous action. When a tornado sweeps through, leaving behind a trail of death and destruction, people cannot help but feel completely powerless. The phrase leaving behind a trail of death and destruction is an adverb that shows the result of a tornado sweeping through. Finally, the following example shows an instance of a present participle phrase used as an adverb that shows time. Watching his favorite documentary, he fell fast asleep on the sofa. The phrase watching his favorite documentary is an adverb and shows the time of falling asleep. That is, we can understand from the sentence that the person fell asleep when he was watching his favorite documentary.